Can you hear the baby crying in the background? Whoops. Close the door. Right. What's happening, everybody? Hey guys, how's it going? So happy to have everybody on board today. Hey, some of my friends out there, so happy to see all of you. It's 2 o'clock, and I'm bringing on my special guest, Claire Babano Fontenot. I'm going to find her right now. Before she comes on, let me just brag about her. She's Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in the world. My wife just brought me a coffee. Come on, honey, show yourself. Look at this beautiful coffee she brought me. Oh, it's so lucky. Thank you, honey. So many interesting facts about her. For instance, get this, is crazy. She was one of 108 children. Let's figure out what that's all about. And she worked for Walmart for years, and now she's the CEO of Feeding America. So I'm gonna find her right now. We're gonna bring her on. She's legit badass. Here we go. Click. How's this work? Requests. There we go. Did it work? Unable to join. Not. Let me try that again. Sorry guys, you know how it goes. I'm one of those guys who's like, a dad now, so naturally I'm terrible with tech. Sending request to Feeding America. Work. What's happening, everybody? So happy to see that we have 14.2K. I think the K stands for billion. That's 14.2 billion people. Hello. I have you sideways. Is that?
Let me see if I can straighten this out. Hold on a second.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Ms. Babano Fontenot.
Yes.
It's such a pleasure to have you on my Instagram live. You're a legit badass. So we're just going to throw that out there.
Well, thank you so much. And thanks for having me, Chris. We're really excited about this opportunity.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's my pleasure. It's my honor. I'm so grateful. I want to thank my mother-in-law, Maria Schreiber, who's the one who made this connection happen. So I think she's watching right now, Maria. Really grateful. She's like said, hey, you've got some influence, and this gal needs exposure right now, and I'll tell you why. More exposure. You're getting a ton of exposure, but I want to further that exposure and multiply that influence because what we're going through, and because of who you are and what you've accomplished. So let's just dive right into it. Well, before we get into Feeding America, can you talk about being one of over 100 children growing up in South Central Louisiana?
Yeah.
Explain how that is.
So most people, when they hear that, think there's a typo or something, but it's not. Through birth or biology, adoption, foster care, my mom and dad were mom and dad to 108 children, including the very privileged me.
Oh, wow.
It's all like my whole life.
Your parents sound amazing. Warren and the late Mary Alice Babano from Louisiana. What did they instill in you that guided you and guided all of your siblings?
Wow. One of the things is for sure is, so my grandparents on both sides were sharecroppers. Neither of my parents even graduated from high school. One of the things that stuck with me was how powerful all of us are.
Wow.
They used their whole lives. They dedicated themselves in service to other people. And I'm inspired to try to do the same with mine.
Wow, that's great service. That's really in the essence of giving, which is a lot of what we're going to be talking about now. Now, you worked with Walmart for many years, right? Great, big, powerful company and corporation. You worked your way pretty much dang near to the top of that company. What changed in you and pivoted your life to go into this world of service?
Well, so first off, as we started in the right place, right? So I've gone around my whole life knowing that there's hunger right here in this country, and that it's particularly challenging for kids. I've also known my whole life the restorative power of access to nutritious food, because I saw it play out in our home. And I went about my life. I had all these great opportunities. I graduated from high school, which my parents didn't get a chance to do, from college, got a law degree, got another law degree, had a chance to work in business. And I found myself at Walmart. And in 2015, I learned that I had cancer. And when that happened, Chris, everything changed. I asked myself whether it would be okay if the last thing that I got to do professionally was what I could do at Walmart. As wonderful as the organization was, my answer was no. So I started the process of leaving. And along the way, I am so, I feel just so privileged and honored that an opportunity that presented itself was this one. And I'm so sure that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be and precisely what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Gosh, wow. God bless you. That's amazing. That's really great. So now you're with Feeding America.
I am.
And we're with the combination of this pandemic and the subsequent economic downturn, we're looking at food instability for families, the likes of which we haven't seen in a very long time in this country. We see it on the news, lines of cars around the block waiting at food banks. You are a direct link. I mean, let's talk to people out there and answer a few questions if I can. The idea being, let's raise awareness and potentially more influence and more donations to go to Feeding America to help supply these food pantries that we've come to rely on so much. So what are you seeing? Where are you seeing the most need right now? Because we're seeing lines all over the country. Where are you seeing the most need?
Yes. So may I back up one step and just make sure everybody knows who we are? So Feeding America is a network of 200 member food banks, 60,000 pantries and soup kitchens and meal programs, and 2 million volunteers. And we touch every county or parish. I am from Louisiana, Chris, where there's hunger. And there are people facing hunger across the country, even in the richest counties in this great nation. So with that said, one of the things that we're able to do at Feeding America, because of our reach, is we're able to gauge where the needs are and when those needs are surfacing. And we're seeing things play out that are pretty, I guess they were to be expected. Like, for instance, we know that people of color are inordinately impacted by food insecurity, 2 times more likely to struggle with food insecurity. We're seeing that play out. So places where there are significant numbers of people of color, there often is also a significant amount of need. But something that maybe your audience might not be as familiar with is how virulent food insecurity can be in rural America as well. Mm-hmm. That in the very area where these remarkable crops are harvested, there are people right there who don't have access to enough food. Wow. So that's another area that we see too. Another trend would be that whenever you hear that there are job losses or shutdowns, closures in a particular geography, right. There probably are going to, for me, when I hear that, I think missed meals. When there are schools that close down, I think missed meals. We have over 22 million kids before COVID who relied upon free and reduced lunch. When they're not at school, they're missing food. So that's what's happening.
Wow. So I put a link in my bio. It's feedingamerica.org. You can go there to make a donation. And I've seen this stat. Is this correct that $1 can provide 10 meals?
Yeah. Where do you get a better return than that?
That's unbelievable.
10 meals when people desperately need it. So absolutely. So you said it, but I ask people to go to feedingamerica.org. And if there's a community that you're from, like I don't know where you are right now, Chris, but I don't know if you're in the same place that you were born in. If you want to support that place that you're from, your hometown, if you go to feedingamerica.org, there's a food bank locator. All you have to do is put in the zip code, mm-hmm. and it'll tell you which food bank is serving that community. And then if you want to be a part of the national work that we do, you can make donations directly to Feeding America as well. We have mm-hmm. a COVID-19 fund. 100% of the proceeds, 100% go directly into local communities to help people facing hunger.
So that's that 100% of the donations to the COVID-19 fund go specifically to helping people who have faced hunger because of this pandemic.
Exactly. So as a national office, we take nothing to cover our expenses out of that COVID-19 fund. And of course we have expenses, but at a moment like this, we've got to step up, and we want to be a part of the solution, and that's what we're trying to do. So,
oh, God bless you. That's amazing. Now, let me ask, what can a person do if they're low on cash? They're low on cash right now, but it's tugging at their heart to help in some way. Is there anything that they can do?
Yeah, you could still go out to your local food bank. I say we need food, funds, and friends, right?
Yeah.
Give whatever you can. Give your time. Give your energy.
Yeah.
Be a voice for people facing hunger. Call your congressman. Tell them, get back at that table. There are people who are hurting out there. Get
Right.
back to the table in a bipartisan way and help people in the middle of this crisis. So there are absolutely things that people can do. And the other thing that I would say is, I don't think I've often enough made an appeal to people who need us too.
Right.
If you're in need of help, we are here for you. Please reach out to
Yeah.
feedingamerica.org, and we're going to do everything we can to help you through this rough patch.
That's a really great point. I think oftentimes when you're illuminating, this message, we're saying, and shining a light on this need, we're saying, how can we get people to help? But it's important too to destigmatize the idea that if you need help, it's okay to accept it. It is. It's okay to accept it, man. I grew up in a small town. We had 7,000 people in my town, and we had some economic hard times, and we had a food bank nearby, and I can't, I'm not ashamed to say that there were moments where my family would need to eat from a food bank. There's no shame in it, especially right now with what we're going through, man. There is help out there, and you can find that help, and you can get that help, and there's nothing wrong with needing that help. And if you are a person who doesn't need help, there's a great feeling and service of helping someone else. And it's a great thing to do this holiday season.
Oh, that's absolutely true. Thank you for talking about the stigma piece of it too.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I hope your audience also, or your followers also are aware of, is that about 40% of the people who are turning to us for help right now have never before turned to the charitable food system for help.
Yeah.
A lot of them used to be volunteers, and now they're finding themselves in need. So one of the messages is that this could happen to any of us, and it might just well be happening to your neighbor down the street, and you just might not realize it. So this is a great time for us to stand up and focus on what brings us together rather than what tears us apart. Let's be community. Let's help.
I think that's right. I mean, our country has a beautiful history of uniting through community, and not through, finding, in the way that helps is each of us is a thread in that community, and as strong as we can be, we're holding the whole fabric together. And I think we're being called right now to do what we can. What are some conversation points folks can use, do you think, to motivate their friends and their family to support food banks? What are some talking points that you could take from this and go out to raise awareness and help?
Well, one of the things, if you go to feedingamerica.org, one of the things you can do is educate yourself on the face of hunger. So there are lots of myths out there about whom it is that needs help. So I encourage everyone who can hear my voice to go out to feedingamerica.org and get educated, understand why people are hungry. What are the things that cause food insecurity in the country? Like, one of the common myths, for instance, is that the people who face hunger in this country, they do so because they don't work. Well, most of the people who turn to us for help, the majority of people who turn to us for help, are working class poor. Right. Or moms who are trying to feed their kids. They're people with jobs. Some of the people, a lot of the people we're seeing right now, as we talked about before, that 40%, so many of them worked in the food service industry. Right. And how could it possibly be earned hunger for you to be in the middle of a pandemic and suddenly find yourself without a means to support yourself and your family? Right. So the first thing that I would encourage them to do is become educated. Secondly, give what you can. Give food if you can. Yeah. Give time if you can. If you can provide financial resources, do that too. I want to honor every contribution that gets made. And the good news is we've had remarkable contributions, and some of them have been very, very large, and I'm grateful for those. The problem is bigger than the contributions we've gotten so far. That's why we need to keep at this. But I want to honor small, medium, and large contributions of money and of every other way that you can invest in your neighbors. So that's what I would say. So find a way to help. And if you need help, find the courage, summon the courage to get the help that you need. And our network is here to serve you with dignity and respect, which is what you deserve.
That's such a beautiful message, Claire. Thank you so very much. Again, it's feedingamerica.org. You can make a donation directly to the COVID-19 fund, and 100% of the proceeds to that, 100% will go to feeding people in areas that are most affected due to this pandemic. Get out there if you can. You know, there's a lot of pain and suffering happening around the world, and obviously Feeding America, we're focusing on America right now, but it's happening around the world. And no matter where you are watching this, know that it's important to focus on pain. And when we focus on our own pain, we feel it, and we focus on someone else's pain, sometimes we can have relief from our own pain. And so service is what we're called to do in a time of the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up. I feel really blessed to be able to talk to you and to see just where you came from with 108 brothers and sisters. That's a lot of birthdays to remember. I mean,
that's a lot of birthdays. By the way, that's a lot of turkey around Thanksgiving too. So, but thank you for everything. Thanks for using this platform to serve. It's one of the ways you get to serve, and you've invested in our work in many ways. This is an important way that you continue to do that, and our whole network is grateful to you for what you've done to help. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you for joining, and to everyone watching, thank you so much. Support feedingamerica.org. Check it out. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you. Happy holidays. Be safe. Be careful. And Claire, I hope to continued success to you and continued prosperity to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Okay. Bye. Bye now. Bye, everybody. And see.